Hello and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Today we have another match of the A Link to the Past randomizer Crosskeys tournament. We are still in Swiss round 1. The matchup is WallKicks versus Kaesden. And commentators for this will be Clearmouse and Nielsen Alex. Say hello and take it from here.
Yo, hello. How's it going, Alex? Are you ready for this match?
I'm always ready whenever it's Crosskeys and whenever I have to do commentaries with you, Clearmouse.
Oh, my gosh, that's so great to hear. I am so happy that you're here with me. And you know, we've actually got quite the race here to commentate for. Have you heard of this guy named WallKicks, Alex?
I might have heard his name before. I might have been on the same team as him in the Link to the Past randomizer league.
Oh, okay. So you've been cursing his name the entire time. I gotcha. Okay, very understandable. Yes.
But hey, we got Kaesden as well, which is really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Really talented.
Oh yeah. And of course, actually, right. So, you know, WallKicks certainly does, I would say, have the edge in some, especially entrance name recognition, right? You know, very, of course, talented Crosskeys runner coming in 2nd place last year in the tournament, so quite the feat. But of course, you mentioned Kaesden is also very good. He was on last season's League Open division, was the runner-up, actually. So, you know, while he may not necessarily have, in this case, like, as much, you know, I guess, like, name brand recognition, he is, as you said, very strong runner. Crosskeys, of course, is also quite an equalizer. You can find lots of different ice rods, and hopefully, you know, we can be able to swing the race, so this actually should be quite good, and a quite exciting match to watch.
Yeah, like Crosskeys is my favorite game mode of all time. Even if it's like just playing or watching, like you said, it's an equalizer. Like you can be really good at the game, but whenever it comes to this game mode, Crosskeys, it's quite it can be quite brutal actually.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Like getting, you know, 227 boots for go mode. Yeah, I understand. It's very brutal, and that's the case. But of course, you know, that's certainly, you know, may or may not have happened. Totally hypothetical situation, right?
Yeah, so we're never gonna mention that again, hopefully.
Alright, sounds good. Well, okay. Alright, well, it looks like the WallKicks and cases already got started. Dueling, synchronized ether medallion pickup, of course. Gonna be always kind of nice to have medallion, especially early on. We are gonna have to need a sword, but already kind of immediate divergence. WallKicks, I think, is doing more of his like normal, standard-ish opening route. Kind of think flipping over to the Witch's Hut, immediately finding Laser Bridge. WallKicks is actually quite talented, I would say, in doing bootsless laser skips. Of course, this isn't in logic technically, but because we do need some sort of like invincibility item with a Mueller shield, but you know, WallKicks is going to be more than capable in order to be able to get these out of logic checks.
Yeah, WallKicks is actually that's a nasty spot for Sanctuary. That is one gross location. You don't want to see Sanctuary here at the castle, because it's like you want it to be in Kakariko, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, WallKicks is already, I think, immediately hitting some pretty good items. Jeez, like, we already got a bow. That is already one piece of the Eastern Palace is dippable part. We just need that now Eastern Big Key, and the WallKicks would be more than happy in order to go inside. We also got some arrows, though. Actually, pretty nice drop here on Laser Face. So we already got some amount of, not necessarily temporary weapon, but we got at least some sort of weapon to work with.
That bow is really good to pick up this early on. We don't really have an item. Oh, Hookshot Cave, by the way, at Hyrule Castle main entrance leads to hammer picks. So that could be quite useful.
Yeah, so not necessarily maybe like the best Dark World entrances, because, you know, we do need kind of like the myths in order to kind of get anywhere, but certainly at least it's going to be one amount of access. Okay, so looks like the Ganon we did find at the useless fairy drop, so it's going to be good information for WallKicks. Also, he got a bomb drop from an enemy. Always, so right. So this is going to be kind of like one thing that you're going to see both WallKicks and Kaesden trying to do is to try and farm up as many, you know, resources from if they have a boomerang, stun prize, prize pack drops, anything that they get their hands on. One bomb, 2 would probably be, you know, the best, just in case in this case we like encounter, you know, like Hype Cave or like the well, right? You won't necessarily have to kind of be like isolating one of those checks if you don't have a bomb for it.
Yeah, and also we just found the old man starting point, which is also really bad. locations.
Man,
So
jeez, yeah, all of these locations just kind of like clustered, right? I mean, they're not spread out. Normally, especially in intros, right, you're kind of hoping that, like these starting locations are kind of, really scattered, right? Maybe you'll get one in the Dark World, maybe you'll get one, as you said, in Kakariko to make the routing a little bit nicer. But like all of these, like they don't really, basically just have like one starting point at this point for all intents and purposes.
it's not the most great seed to have like. Oh, there's the palace. We can actually get one item here, and I'll also look for the torch, which is quite nice. But
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna save that for last, maybe.
Yeah, right. Probably Kaesden in this case are trying to explore out the rest of the Eastern Palace area. He's got Eastern Palace itself, and then he's also got Flute Spot 5 if he wants to go there.
You normally just scout the whole like Eastern Palace area when you go here, because this area is so slow, unless you get the flute early on.
Yeah, and chances are, maybe, right, and so I guess, like, the question is, Alex, okay, so if you find, okay, we have found one connector, right, that's desert, so if you find another connector, like in Flute Spot 5, like, do you go take it, or do you go back to Saha's hut and take desert?
I would say it depends on what like connector it is down here. If it's like Hyrule Castle, maybe I'll take that one, but if it's one of the dark ones, depends on which one that is, but not being able to guide yourself through it is quite hard. Wally can do it with his bow.
Oh yeah, that's actually a very good point. And we got some ammunition, right? So sometimes you see people even using bombs, if they can't, to try like guide their way through dark rooms. In this case, WallKicks has, at least got his choice in this case of consumables in order to do some amount of, not necessarily echolocation, but yeah, to kind of like use some crumbs in order to find his path, which is exactly like what he's doing. Is that
it's back of Old Man,
okay.
Sadly. But that's another. So the mountain start with the Old Man start is completely useless in this game. There's no, you don't need to go through it at all. Which is quite, like, this early on is actually quite good. Like, it's useful information. So.
Yeah. Useful information that we're just not gonna ever have to go use ever again.
Exactly. Like, it could have been worse. It could have been worse, I guess, but like this early on, it doesn't really matter how much you like whatever you do. Like, you don't lose that much time unless like your opponent maybe find boots early on.
Right, yeah. Speaking of, so right, it looks like actually both, WallKicks at least, denied, and both, of course, Kaesden denied following in through one of the desert connectors, but we did find a desert back on Kaesden's side as well.
And there's desert palace.
Yeah, geez, okay. I don't know about these connectors. They don't really seem to, like, nothing really seems super appealing, right? Like, we found one connector, that goes to hammer pegs, right? But of course, like, that requires a lot of access in order to get out of the Dark World, maybe like midst or something. But I mean, and then we find another connector that just leads us right back to Kakariko. It's like, man, these are...
We find a bug net and a small rock in back of Scape.
Okay.
And there's a big key on the Thieves Drop down, which is hiding at the Magic Bat Drop.
Alright, so we are going to need, of course, a hammer or a mirror and Dark World access in order to get to that. Well, I guess we're going to see what big key that is. Hopefully we're going to get it on the sooner side. You're not going to have necessarily a late hammer or a late mirror. Of course, mirror being probably one of the most coveted items that you want in Crosskeys. Arguably very second to, or maybe first, depending on who you ask, to the boots.
I think it depends on, like, if you get mirror super early, that's nice. But if you get if you're super close to like go mode.
Oh yeah, that's actually very true.
You definitely don't want like mirror to just pop up if you're like one item away. You definitely don't want to see that thing pop up.
No, very, very true. Yeah, nothing beats, nothing really raises your morale and hopes for you finishing the seed quickly when you just get an item that opens up like 20 other things suddenly. All isolated, by the way, right? You just like got these like random one-offs because you've already done everything at that point.
That's the most awful thing you can actually find. There's the two brothers connector inside the chicken hut. So it's kind of stacked with connectors early on.
Yeah.
Oh, hookshot.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I believe we also did find Hookshot Cave on Kaesden's side too, right? So that's going to be some 4 really nice, quick and easy checks.
The hookshot cave is actually next to Sanctuary Start, so that's quite convenient.
Oh, finally, we have a use for that Sanctuary Stars. Here we are thinking that we may not actually have to like ever see basically anything other than Link's house, but at least we have something. Speaking of more item-dense caves, we found Mini Molder with a sword on Kaesden's side.
There's flippers in Desert Palace as well.
Okay, yeah. By the way, thanks.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Okay. By the way, thanks to our trackers, Blimbrel and Sammy, for doing all the work because they literally just have their work cut out for them on that one cave. We got Sword, Kina Samaria, Moon Pearl. We got another big key at some point as well.
That was the Desert Palace, and not Desert Palace. That was the Ice Palace big key.
Ice Palace big key. Thank you so much, Blimbrel.
Oh
my gosh. We have Blind's Hut as well. Oh man, she. Our trackers are very busy with the clicking today.
Yeah, all the clickings and nothing else. Oh, there's another big key. There's Tower Pharaoh big keys.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's actually a really nice big key to find, right? You know, just because, especially we have the hookshot, it is, especially when we go find Hera, it is very easy, and I would say fairly tempting to, you know, sequence break and do Hera pot to go up. But now with that big key, right, you know for sure you don't have to leave anything behind. And probably the only other time you have to go back to Hera is, you know, maybe for, you know, Hera basement.
I like the Kaesden's rupee farming here in Blind's Hut. Since the Kaesden is like just short of what is it called again? Bottle Bender.
Bottle Bender. Yeah. This is actually very heads up in this case because he knows. Right. So neither runner has. Oh no, sorry. WallKicks actually did the whole hand. In this case, so he, you know, isn't gonna have any real like early money issues. But Kaesden, you know, kind of actually just didn't really get much of an opportunity to. So very, you know, good planning on his part to be able to try and get everything and not have to isolate anything else.
Here's the second small key. Yeah. Well, there's a good place to farm bombs as well.
More bombs, that's right. And some arrows, yeah. I mean, Kaesden doesn't have, in this case, a bow, but it's still going to be very great for WallKicks when he eventually, in this case, gets there.
A good part is that we at least have another weapon compared to only the bow that Wally had. We have that sword from Mini Molder and Cave, so...
Right, yeah. Yes, another very useful thing, you know, especially, of course, swords are always welcome. You're never gonna say no to one. But in this case, if we do find Hera, when we do find Hera, we're gonna have at least a weapon to be able to defeat Molder with.
This is actually quite nice as well. This worked out pretty good. The smith is actually inside...
Yeah, all of these things that can't... Oh, dude, we got another sword!
Dude, I feel like these runners are getting spoiled with the good items.
Yeah, you know, actually, I was just thinking that too. You know, we've got, you know, Kaesden and WallKicks, two very talented, you know, runners. You know, I was really hoping we would see, you know, some, you know, lower percent, you know, type of execution, right? You know, already masters for basically off the bat.
There's the information that Swamp Palace are green pendant today. So hopefully, I mean, we already got flippers and the hook shots, so we're not far away from being able to dip inside.
Yeah, of course. This is, of course, the, you know, Crosskeys, Crossroad Key Sanity. That Swamp Small key is floating out there somewhere. It could very well be Vanilla, which is the very first chest of Swamp Palace, where it, you know, normally is. Not quite the most desired location in this case, you know, for Crosskeys, but barring that, we do pays half the first check available to us, provided, of course, we do find the tabs.
There's even more money here, so that's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kaesden's quite happy to see that. You know, especially, you know, for, so, like, opening routes, like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, you know, but it's like, if you, of course, don't usually do hula hand, you're just more than happy to see extra money, so that kind of means that you didn't necessarily have to do hula hand.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
so...
we found all the desert connectors.
Yeah, so we don't need to go through desert at all to find another, like, connector, like, somewhere else in, like, the world, because we know that desert is just in Light World. Okay, so we got Vanilla Lumberjack in map, so we don't need to do Agate for that at least.
Yeah, that's true. Certainly would not preclude our runners, of course, doing both chests of Castle Tower. You know, items can certainly
Oh
be.
wow.
What the heck? What? Oh, is this like all of our 5 item caves, like immediately, basically? Oh, I guess we haven't found Hyper Cave yet, but I mean, like, this is quite the early game loadout, or in terms of like interests defined.
This is just okay. There's small key to Tower of Hera as well. So let's give these 2 runners a fire sword, so we can just full clear Hera at this like one go.
Huh? Yeah. So okay, predictions for you think Hera's a crystal or a pendant? My money's on pendant.
I think it's a pendant as well. You normally never get all that stuff if it's a crystal. So.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see if Kaesden. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Wow.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, Alex, you called that lamp. Okay. So our next location is gonna be Hera at some point. Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this rate because this is just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, normally, right, like Crosskeys, you know, your first, like, dungeon clear, not even necessarily crystal or pendant, you know, is just gonna be something, oh wow, we already found the back Skull Woods, and very interesting, our first real foray into Dark Worlds. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
Oh, it's actually like good.
Oh yeah, we can actually get somewhere for this too, jeez. Kaesden not remembering he has to get a Samaria? Or maybe he just wants to do, you know, some, you know, good old-fashioned MG straps here, pushing and pulling with the blocks and the Pintos.
Did Kaesden pick what's the Samaria now?
Samaria was in Mini Moldorm Cave, and he was the one who got first.
Right. Well, there's Hera, but WallKicks doesn't have the thing, the lamp, or the small key, for that matter. That's quite unfortunate for WallKicks. Alright, we're getting a small key to pond early on as well. Always nice to get the small keys out of the way before fighting pond, actually. WallKicks not doing Herabot? Quite interesting. Oh yeah, because he's okay. Never mind. Doesn't have the thing, the health to do it. Could have just easily taken the a death warp just to do the hero pot, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's really true. Yeah, that's actually a very good point. We are actually on a little bit of lower health. We haven't actually found basically anything outside of a couple of heart pieces. Especially on WallKicks side, I don't think we found pretty much of anything.
Kaesden finding a book here in Skull Woods. So
okay.
A lot of could lead to progression, but at least the book right now, early on, gives us one more entrance.
Yeah, and the fact that WallKicks also came out of Desert, right? Like, he was already in the Desert Palace area. Like, with the book, Kaesden's gonna be able, assuming he kind of follows that same connector that WallKicks did, he's actually gonna also be able to check the Desert entrance as well with that book. Maybe also kind of scout out Desert Ledge. I don't actually think WallKicks did that. I think just went straight right.
I think so as well. Not sure, to be honest. Oh yeah, Kaesden, you need a glove to lift that rope.
Yeah. Ah yes, the old, I have early Dark World access, but that's right, I have actually no glove or hammer in order to get around to a lot of places.
Okay, moment of truth, Clearmouse. Is this a crystal or pendant?
This is a pendant.
Oh,
There's
hammer, wow!
Holy cow! And it's a, oh my gosh, and it's a crystal! What?
Oh,
what? This is such a generous seed. I cannot believe this.
I bet it's only because WallKicks is a admin for a tournament.
You are not wrong. Yeah, that is 100% true statement.
This is a rigged tournament already for WallKicks to get to the finals again. Oh wow, Kaesden found his way up to the mountain actually. I did not pay attention to where. Oh my good lord! There's a spiral cave as well.
Oh man, oh man, is that a good connector to take? I mean, because there's just so many other entrances in this case.
I mean, I hate spiral cave entrance. Like, it's one of the most awful ones in this game mode. Like, either you skip it or you follow it, and if you skip it, there's progression in the big chest. Well, not in the big chest, in the chest in spiral cave.
Yeah, that's right, right. And especially with no boots, spiral cave is certainly arguably a very unfortunately not fast check.
And I don't know if I'm happy to say it or not, but we have a vanilla Ganon today.
Oh, okay, alright. You know, not maybe necessarily like the best thing to see necessarily Crosskeys, just because it is, you know, technically fast Ganon. We don't necessarily have to in order to, you know, defeat Ganon's tower in order to get to Ganon today, but at least today that's gonna be the case. And you know, I guess like maybe from a runner's perspective, like having, like knowing that you have to go climb GT, you know, potentially could be a good thing just because you know it doesn't have to be another source of variance, right? Like, should I climb GT and spend the extra 5 minutes so I can get a couple items on the top? Well, you know you're gonna have to climb anyway, so you know maybe the sooner you find it, maybe you'll just go do it. Versus, you know, your opponent saying, I'm just not gonna climb, and then, you know, not necessarily having to have like a 5-minute difference.
Okay, so our tracker Blibberl actually said Ganon's not useless fairy, so it's not vanilla Ganon.
Okay.
See?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We we saw that way early. That's right. We did see that.
See, the trackers keep us on track.
Yeah, exactly.
It, so.
Yeah, already finding our way up to like the top of the castle too with that master sword. Well, it is just in this case a fairy fountain. Gonna be quite nice to just be able to clear everything out. Oh my gosh, alright, we definitely found Hype Cave up here.
I mean, oh, baby, yeah. So Hype Cave's up here. There's a Castle Tower small key, so we can actually check both chests now, which is nice. That's our third small key, Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we're really getting these Turtle Rock small keys quite quickly. You know, again, as you mentioned, this is our third one. There are only, of course, 4 of them out there, but that actually grants us quite a bit of access, at least key-wise, in Turtle Rock. We don't have the big key yet, so of course, you know, we can't actually get a Trinex, not that, you know, we really have much else, you know, we don't have either rods or anything like that, and we can't get the big chest, but, you know, those Turtle Rock small keys, potentially can look a bit suspicious.
I'm just gonna say, as it is right now, Turtle Rock is a pendant.
Okay. Well, you know, Hera apparently was a crystal, and we got, like, everything we needed for Hera, like, in the first, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that, so... Maybe
yes, now the game is just even it out right now. So
yes, exactly.
We got everything for Hera, so it's crystal. So now we're getting all the small keys, which means Turtle Rock is a pet. Oh, there's Bombos.
Oh, fair. Yeah, there's Bombos. That's potential.
And flutes.
Flutes. Jeez. Oh.
And a shovel.
And a shovel. Perfect. Exactly what we need. The lucky shovel to get us infinite resources. That is a quite nice hookshot cave here. Excellent mobility, basically, right from the, I mean, not necessarily from the start, but a very early flute, early hook shot, kind of is nice screen for screen, but we're going to basically have a lot of really nice movement on Kaesden's side. WallKicks, I'm sure we'll get there, you know, shortly.
So this seed is very front-loaded. I don't know if I like it or not, because, like, we have already found this, like, a lot of items early on. It's gonna take a while, I think, at least, until we find something big, I guess.
Yeah, well, right. So we're still missing, you know, some very, very major things, right? We did, of course, find the hammer on Moldorm, on WallKicks' side. Of course, Kaesden's gonna be, you know, probably there, you know, sooner rather than later. But, you know, in terms of other, we're missing, of course, we're missing the boots. We're missing the mirror. We're missing any glove, really, in order to kind of help us open things up. So we're certainly still looking for a good amount of stuff.
And WallKicks giving us that big key on Thief's Dropdown to Eastern Palace, so we can actually clear Eastern Palace in one go.
Alright, WallKicks is already smiling in this case. I mean, of course we haven't found it, but we haven't found Eastern Palace yet, but he is quite happy that he, when we do find Eastern Palace, he is going to be able to full clear it in one shot. Man, it seems like so far that's kind of been the case too, right? You know, we got when we found Hera, we also were able to basically clear it in one shot as well.
I'm telling you, Clear Mouse, it's rigged. That Eastern Palace with the pro, it's rigged because WallKicks. So
it's a new admin. That's right.
He's using his power to turn Sarashvalabad into rolling the top for him.
Alright, Kaesden, yeah, basically almost no hesitation. Not necessarily quite the beeline to Kakariko, but you know, we did a couple things on the way in order to kind of activate that flute very quickly. But of course, WallKicks now, with that hook shot in hand, going to pick up his, well, hopefully soon, his flute and Bombos Medallion as well.
WallKicks doing a walk of shame since he could have just saved and quit Sanctuary, but I mean, I guess he wanted to walk from Blink's house.
He probably already like wrote off Sangstar, you know, in his mind, be like, okay, I don't actually need this anymore, and then he's, of course after this, I don't think he would need it at all. Of course, we do see the north to south, or up top to bottom hookshot cave, in this case.
I don't think WallKicks ever checked the where this entrance goes, right? Or did they?
I guess we're gonna find out.
Oh yeah, no. I thought WallKicks was going for that like glitch where you can like hook yourself into the bush.
Oh yeah, that's what I actually thought too. But I guess maybe he doesn't want to, or maybe he'll just go to do something else.
I mean, it's not one of those things that you actually sit down and practice that much.
that is true.
It's not that useful. Like, you don't get that often, that scenario when you get hook shot that early and you get a connector that goes to hammer picks early on as well.
Ooh, this is gonna be pretty interesting. We did find the bomb shop, so Ice and Hera are 5-6 crystals on Kaesden's side, and this is actually, this is Desert Middle entrance, and so this is actually forced locked by the book. And Kaesden was able to check this because he got that book early on from Skull Woods.
That's some good intel. Oh, well, there's Meyer. I actually forgot that WallKicks found Meyer.
Oh yeah. We actually found quite a number of dungeons so far that we found, like Ice and Meyer and Hera, kind of like already straight off the bat, and of course Turtle Rock, Desert.
Here's the Hera play that Kaesden will do. It's gonna be interesting. Kaesden, you cannot skip the basement this early.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would wager many a thing that he would also just sit down and do Hera basement, especially this early, right? The game gave you, you know, the lamp actually surprisingly showed up quite early in general for Crosskeys, right? I mean, like those lamps sometimes could be just very much like buried, but the fact that we have it so early and we have a Hera small, like certainly could be something very good here.
It looks like action.
Yeah, that was quite nice. Yeah, quite also, you know, while, you know, 5 hearts isn't necessarily like a great, you know, boon of health on Kaesden's side, it certainly was greater than the 3 total hearts that WallKicks had, in addition to the 1 actual heart that he had at the time, so it was able to at least afford, in this case, a Hera pot.
Kaesden had the luxury as well of having the blue mail, so...
Yeah,
see what Cora has. Heart piece on the ledge, so nothing will actually grab. I can't see WallKicks grabbing a heart piece.
Oh my gosh. Especially, no, I cannot see him grabbing that heart piece under any circumstances. Oh, okay, maybe under some circumstances, but you know, especially with, I mean, 4 total hearts is probably more than enough for WallKicks at this point, especially when we don't have the mirror, and he probably isn't interested in taking, you know, obscenely long death warps at this point.
Small key to Swamp Palace.
Oh, wow.
I mean...
interesting.
So, whenever you find a dam in Swamp Palace, we can actually full clear a dungeon. Except, well, not full clear because we don't have a big key, but...
I mean that big key is kind of like you might try and hold out for the big key, but I think at least for most cases you're probably willing to once you find the dam and you find Swamp Palace, you're probably willing to go inside.
And by then you've probably already found a big key, because you always find a big key in Swamp. Like no matter what, you always find an entrance. Like it's like just pops up everywhere. Okay, so there's a compass in the Spiral Cave entrance.
Yeah, but looks like at least WallKicks is willing to follow this connector. Yeah, it does need to be a little bit careful. Moldorms do 1 heart of damage, but forget that hook through, glitch from Hammer Pegs over to the Village of Outcasts. Not necessarily the greatest connector to take from Spiral Cave, but we do in this case have an entry into the Village of Outcasts and most of Dark Worlds.
There's a big key on library, so we might need that one. So boots might be required for at least a big key.
Yeah, are we hoping for boots required? I don't know, Alice, because it's like when we see boots required sometimes, it's you have this false sense of like hope that you're gonna get the boots early. That's a really nice fire rod, by the way.
This is something. Like look at the look at the trackers right now. How many good items are already gone? Like it's insane. There's Bumper Cave upper parts, which is nice because you can always just use your hookshot to get through and check the other side.
Yeah, that's actually especially for this is actually say more real nice Dark World access. Yeah, the hookshotting from the back of Bumper Cave, hopefully it's not too much of a gotcha, but certainly can kind of elude some of I would say like some runners who are not as necessarily familiar with it, in that you do not actually need the cape in order to get through, which is exactly what WallKicks demonstrated.
Oh, I totally missed out that we already have the big key to Myers. We can already we can already clear Meyer.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be fun because we only like 5 hearts, but I mean these 2 runners can easily do it. Here's a nice part for Kaesden that Wally couldn't do. Can actually go from the back to the front. Well, if Kaesden wants to use all the keys, of course.
Yeah, and of course, right. It's very not common for us to be able to, have to use all 4 Turtle Rock keys. Logically, of course, we're gonna need those, but having this many, I guess, like Turtle Rock keys, or small keys, right, probably gives you just a bit more liberty and more efficiency in order to clear out the dungeon.
I have to say, unfortunately, GFE, that Eastern Palace is full clearable for WallKicks the first time he will find it, so he will only have to dip Eastern once today.
Yeah, that's right. This is already a WallKicks / Zelda approved seed. None of you have to make any decisions about Eastern Palace. We've already got the big key and the bow, at least for WallKicks.
Kind of funny that WallKicks and Kaesden is in the same dungeon right now.
Yeah, just one slightly farther ahead than the other. In this case, but they're both gonna not be missing out on much. 300 rupees, always kind of nice to see. Maybe a little bit more on WallKicks' side, just because he has already kind of done Zora, so it wouldn't necessarily hurt to have a little bit of repeat replenishment. May not have the same impact in this case for Kaesden.
The worst part for Kaesden right now is that Kaesden can't do the Firelight side, like the Firelight side here, but hopefully for Kaesden there's nothing major here. But for WallKicks' perspective, you definitely want something good here.
Right.
I swear to God, if there's boots here, I'll be...
That would be... oh my gosh. Well, that'll make WallKicks real happy. What if there's a mirror here? Wouldn't that be something?
That would definitely be something, if there's a mirror here.
WallKicks is certainly very interested in not death warping early. Just enough health in this case to try and do like the fast route, through the torches, because in this case he has 1 heart to sacrifice, kind of at least the first time he was able to. Aw, but nothing here in the Firelock side. WallKicks is also probably not interested in Death Warping just because he probably wants to see this case where Turtle Rock front leads him or gets him out of. And of course, Death Warping here early would bring him back to, well, not that entrance.
So Turtle Rock, except for the what is it called now again? Except Laser Bridge, haven't really had anything, which is quite surprising. But depending on like which all the items we have for Turtle Rock, it's quite okay. So Turtle Rock main, you actually have to go from the back to the front.
Yeah, that's true.
That is quite gross.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, we do have Death Mountain access at some point, so we can still check the Light World version. Hopefully, in this case, we don't have to necessarily come back through this entrance again in order to access this place.
That would be even worse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Kaesden taking a little bit here of like thinking, what's the next play to do here? Like, they have so much things open, like it's so crazy because we're only at 34 minutes in. And they have pretty much everything in Dark World they can do. Except, you know, they don't have a mirror or a glove.
Yeah, I think, has either Kaesden or WallKicks just Catfish? I think that's open, right? You can go through North Dark World?
Well, North Dark World is open, but Catfish is sadly not open.
Oh, that's right, yeah, we still need a glove! Oh man, thinking about all of these glove lock locations. It's also very, at least common one to forget. Yeah, so, right, I mean...
Kaesden is going to full, like, just clear my ear with 4 hearts.
Very nice, yeah. Alright, so this is gonna be, yeah, right, and as you mentioned earlier, also we can see on our tracking, or our trackers, we have the Big Mire, we have the Cane of Samaria, we also do have a lamp, amazingly, so we don't have to go through any pesky dark rooms. Kaesden does not have the Fire Rod, might make things a little bit slower, also no chance of like doing any type of spooky action. No small keys means that we're just gonna have to take a little bit of extra time in the dungeon, but we are still gonna be able to get everything that, at least we're gonna be able to get all the items.
We do have the bow as well, so it's not that bad.
Right, yeah,
kill,
yeah.
But it's still gonna be a pain, like no matter what.
Alright,
by the way, the big bomb is actually useless because we have a connector that goes throughout the big bomb pool. So.
Ooh, interesting. Castle Tower, small key. Not Castle Tower. Hyrule Castle, small key. The sewers key. So when we eventually do go there, WallKicks, also remembering that he does not have a glove, has to go through the Hammerlock side of that barrier. We are going to be able to clear out fully Castle Tower, or Hyrule Castle and Logic.
Big key. The Turtle Rock.
Wow. Okay. Alright, that does open up the big chest. Does open up, you know, the door to Trinex. We are still an Ice Rod short on both sides. Kaesden's also short that Fire Rod that we got in Village of Outcasts.
We have not found TR Big yet, but I mean, everything in Turtle Rock is pretty much, like, we only have 2 items left in there, which is crazy.
I thought we just picked up Turtle Rock Big Key. Did we just pick that up on
the big key, but I like the big chest. We haven't found.
Oh yeah, we haven't found the entrance. Correct. Yeah.
I like it. We have found so many things. Oh, there's boots in my. Wow.
Oh, all right.
Oh my good lord.
Yeah, that is actually so right. Quite the good decision, you know, on Kaesden's side to go into Mire early. You know, while it is a fairly low percent, he does have to be quite a bit careful in this case to not die, as we're also seeing that WallKicks is very conscious of his health, buying a lesser seen heart to try and get his way out of, in this case, Dark Shopping Mall. Kaesden's got basically all the movement speed you can ask for in this case.
The boots are out of logic, like Shad is pointing out, but I mean, then again, who cares about logic, right?
Yeah, that's right. Right, so, no small keys means, of course, especially the fire locks, I need 3 Mire smalls in order to access it logically. As we can see from our trackers, we have 0 of them. But as you also said, Alex, who cares about logic when we can get the boots?
Exactly, like, you just get boots out of logic and you'll be happy, but I mean,
exactly.
WallKicks will not be happy whenever he decides to go there. Well, there's a small key to Desert Palace, so we can actually do pretty much everything in Desert Palace at this point. It's only the big key we haven't found yet. Kina's cave having nothing, which is not too surprising at this point, because we have found so many things at the moment. There's another map, the Desert Palace. That's quite convenient.
Nice. I will say though that the fire shield that WallKicks picked up from the Firelock side of Turtle Rock potentially could actually benefit Kaesden right now. He's only on fighter shields. There are quite a few shooters here that potentially, you know, could use some deflection from. Both runners are still on, you know, I would say fairly low health. You know, 5 total hearts. As you'll see, WallKicks are kind of farming up a couple of extra ones to make sure he doesn't die prematurely. Hey, you were saying? You were saying? There's exactly. It just shows up. I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for.
It's like a mushroom. It just pops up whenever you don't want it. Kaesden actually not clearing the dungeon. I mean, you're low in health, but
yeah, I mean, the basement is certainly no joke. Maybe he, in this case, thinks that, well, we don't still know if Myers a crystal pendant. Maybe he doesn't want to kind of take that immediate plunge to find out, you know, like the hard way, I guess, whether or not he was going to be rewarded. And as you also said, right, we've got, you know, not a lot of health. We already got quite a bit of value in this case from Meyer, namely we still have the boost, and it's still not technically logic, I think, right? Or maybe it is.
It's not yeah, logic. Who cares about that, right?
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
But, we did actually get the info that pendant desert. That's another pendant we know. So like, we only need to get the information about the one more pendant, and then we have our lineup of dungeons that are crystals and which is not.
Yes, Kaesden, remembering that he has actually not checked any amount of desert in this particular case. So he's certainly going to need, of course, right, a desert map chest, which of course that's where WallKicks got his flippers. WallKicks, I don't believe, also checked the torch either. I think he just got the map, or maybe he did. But it's just a bottle.
Oh, I mean, bottle is that is great stuff for Kaesden, actually. If he wants to go back to Meyer, because you can just buy a potion somewhere.
Yeah, also, I don't actually think we found Sick Kid either, but it's going to be, of course, another check. First bottle is probably, at least, you know, certainly quite desirable to pick up.
Oh, that's... okay. Now we know where... I think WallKicks actually went through this dungeon earlier and then ended up at that location. It's quite insane that we all have all these progression items this early, but still no blood.
Yeah, that's true. WallKicks actually looks like he's going to take a lesser scene, in this case, upgrade. Maybe he actually does have Vitreous on his mind for Meyer. I
mean, at this point, I wouldn't be too surprised about it. If you end up going in there, like... If you just wanted some like arrow capacity or bomb capacity, you would have bought both. But like when he only buys the one for the arrows, I think it's killing Biddy time.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably just go for both since he already been to Sora at this point. Like buying bomb upgrade would be nice as well because you never have to buy bombs later on.
Yeah, that is certainly true. I don't know necessarily what WallKicks is thinking about. He wants to necessarily buy a potion in the future. Like, you'll probably get one bottle at some point.
I mean, a bottle, like, you will get more money throughout the season as well.
That is certainly true. Alright, well, it looks like we're kind of like swapping locations in terms of just like what both WallKicks and Kaesden have been doing. WallKicks is rescuing the old man, and Kaesden looks like he is probably going to finish up some of the water checks that WallKicks was doing earlier with those newly found flippers from Desert. Now, of course, we also did see on WallKicks' side, which of course, Kaesden hasn't been to the Village of Outcasts quite yet. There is also another big key on Library, which is also, I believe, located in Village of Outcasts, which of course, with the boots, Kaesden is going to be able to get. And shortly thereafter, WallKicks made his way into Mire. Once he gets those boots, he's also going to claim that big key as well.
Nah, he will skip his boots here because they are out of logic.
Are you sure?
Nah, I'm just kidding. But, it would be quite funny if he did it. But.
I think, okay, I don't, if you're maybe already over there, like, you know, I maybe like big key chests, you know, because it's a very long cutscene, I don't know. But I think at this point, I am not seeing really people who, especially this early in the stage of the game, kind of skip what they have access to. Not necessarily logically, but, you know, something they have access to. Alright,
yeah, the book that's like question chat, it is actually inside Skullwoods.
Yeah, right. So Kaesden found an early connector from the back of Skullwoods, which is how in this case he got there, and then, you know, just basically did the front.
I'm pretty sure it was like only the book that was inside the dungeon.
Alright, where is Kaesden going here? Are we going to kind of... Oh, maybe haven't checked this entrance yet. Or...
I don't think Kaesden actually checked this area at all.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think, right, I think he just came out of Desert Right, and then checked like Desert Ledge, which had King of Burna on there. They may pick it up if they're over there, if they haven't gotten anything better, just because maybe the cape will show up. We'll certainly help out with Spike if they have it. And then just check like Agina and everything else, and probably didn't actually quite do that area yet.
They haven't been on this side of the mountain, right?
Yeah, no, that's I don't believe they have.
Ooh, Kingsum. And the boots for WallKicks.
Yeah, boots for WallKicks. Oh, wow. Very useful. Man, alright, Kaesden doesn't have to necessarily pause anymore. We've got our first glove on Kaesden's side here on East Death Mountain.
Well, now we can actually, well, it would be out of logic and all that stuff, but we could actually clear Ice Palace without the big key at this point.
Yeah, Ice Palace Big Key is certainly probably something that, again, you might be willing to be waiting for, but if you find Ice Palace, which I believe actually both runners did, especially with right, Fire Rod, Cane of Samaria, I mean, like, there are going to be lots of, I guess, like, viable items that are going to be inside Ice Palace for you. And a hammer, and a hook shot, right? Like, these are all going to be, like, really nice things.
Just like, if you can clear a dungeon, just do it.
Yeah, no, a small key unfortunately means that they might have to do a little bit more of, you know, again, just a little bit more time inside Ice Palace in order to get everything. You know, but of course if you find it before you end up going over there, certainly more power to you.
And now, this connector, Spiral Cave entrance that he's running through, he will actually get his Fire Rod here.
Right, Fire Rod, yeah, and Fire Rod, and then we're gonna find out what that big key on Library is. Kaesden's actually gonna be the first one, potentially to find it, even though WallKicks did have that early knowledge.
Well, hopefully for Kaesden, it's actually Ice Palace with the key on that.
Oh yeah, that could be. Yeah, that one, I think if you get the Ice Palace big key, you just know, like, there's no more doubt in your mind at that point.
There it is, the Fire Rod for Kaesden as well. I think I would be feeling too overwhelmed at this point with everything they can do. Like they have so many things.
Yeah, and looks like though, yeah, kind of unlike Kaesden and WallKicks going straight to the back for Vitreous, right? Kind of all saw some telltale signs, earlier, for instance that, that arrow upgrade purchase on WallKicks' side, right? Increasing his arrows. He does have Master Sword, of course. Not gonna make phase 1 too big of a deal, but of course, no real other invincibility items, and the health is, a bit questionable when it comes to actually surviving Vitreous. So a couple of arrows are only gonna be pretty nice. That is a big key to Skull Woods, by the way. I don't know if Kaesden's willing to go back over there, like further north, but I guess that is something.
I mean, I would probably do it because he has entrances up there that he haven't checked. Okay, never mind. There's just Skull Woods and we can clear it. Never mind, don't listen to me.
Yeah, it looks like Kaesden's just making all of like the gray location finds. We already find the back of Skullwoods. Of course, technically, again, we do need that third Skullwood small key in order to put Mathia logic. But again, in the great words of Mias and Alex 92, who cares about logic?
Who cares about that? Especially when you lacerate your boots in GT.
Yeah. But yeah, and let's see. We're trying to figure out. Right, we still need to know in this case what our third pendant dungeon is, because we already do know that Swamp Palace was the green pendant talking to Sahashala. We did find out from the Desert Palace map the desert is a pendant, and so we just need one more. Hopefully, it's gonna be a crystal for both runners.
One of these could be a pendant, actually.
Mm-hmm. Dueling boss fights, WallKicks is really putting those arrows to work. Really nice job. Holy cow, really nice fight, Vitreous on his part. Also being very conscious to save exactly 8 arrows for the boss. Man, this is this is quite the sight to see.
Simultaneous boss that kills as well. Ooh, small keys on both sides. Small key GT and small key to Ice Belt, and Skullwood's our last pendant.
Yeah, that is also quite interesting. Alright, so that is at least full knowledge on Kaesden's side. WallKicks hasn't really done, half of the stuff yet. Hasn't, in this case, doesn't have a book yet from Skullwoods. Hasn't talked to the bottle vendor, or the bomb merchant, because he doesn't have access there quite yet. Of course, hasn't cleared out Skullwoods yet either, so he doesn't know in this case pendants, but... alright, that means that we're going to need a lot more stuff today in order to clear out, in order to finish up the scene.
And WallKicks running back for Hera Basement. Makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You're done with Hera, you can just unmark Hera. You'll never have to go back here.
Yeah.
I mean, also the fact that you had all the keys to Hera super early on. You should definitely do this one because it could have progression. But then again, we already found all the progression early on in the seed, so...
Yeah, right. Now, of course, the major, thing that right now Kaesden has over WallKicks is that he does have a glove that we found on East Death Mountain, basically by hooking over. WallKicks just has to basically get over there and pick up his glove.
Unless, WallKicks finds another glove.
That is very true. That is 100% correct. There are 2 gloves out there, and of course, mitts may not necessarily always be required in order to complete the seed logically. Mitts are always kind of nice. In order to, have access, right? A flute and mirror and mitts means that we have, mire / desert access immediately, but doesn't necessarily have to lock anything.
Well, Hera Basement, we already knew that Hera Basement didn't have anything, but the dig game, 29 digs for nothing. That is never fun.
Yeah, I will say though, specifically for WallKicks, when he did Hera Basement, those 10 arrows actually gave him a little bit more ammo, just because he used all 35 arrows on Vitreous, right? He's certainly not going to probably turn that down at this point.
I mean, for doing that check that takes forever,
I understand.
10 arrows, it's not like you will be super happy.
He could certainly use some arrows to make himself feel better, maybe.
Oh wow, I think that's the first time we actually see Harrow Castle, right?
I think you're right, actually. And on Kaesden's side, we did end up picking up of course, and WallKicks both have Harrow Castle small key. So maybe Kaesden just wants to kind of finish up the surrounding checks, and then probably take a dive into Harrow Castle.
There's still 4 items in there, and two more entrances to the dungeon, which could actually lead to some healing. think the checks that Kaesden are doing right now, I think WallKicks did these earlier, right? Oh.
No, apparently not, because we just found Swamp Palace.
Never mind. Well,
yeah, well...
Swamp is found, but we can still not do anything there, because we
that's
have
right. Yes, we definitely still need to find the dam location, and then after that, we not only, of course, have Swamp Palace fully open to us, and clearable, we're also going to be able to take a very quick spot to Flute Spot 7 in the Light World, and then pick up whatever the second treasure is.
I think the worst part right now is, like, if we find the dam, like, we're not that far away from having, you know, that thing. You know, that would be our second pendant, if you know what I mean.
that is true. I mean, of course, Swamp Palace is also our green pendant. You know, and we do know from early on that Sahastra will also have a prize for us. But yes, you are certainly correct, Alex, that there is another potential prize waiting for us in the Lost Woods.
Oh, you mean the mushroom, right?
Right, exactly. Yes, the mushroom. I mean, it was 300 rupees there in the spot. You know, so a very expensive, you know, worthwhile mushroom.
WallKicks actually finally getting that glove as well. So now WallKicks will be in the same position Kaesden would be like, where do I go first?
Yeah. I mean, and again, right? Like you mentioned, we got a lot of early items, lots of access to us, and especially in this case, if you see, you know, if you especially play with like a map tracker, you basically see like all of these green squares, you know, light up. It's like, well, I have a lot of freedom of choice, but in this case, sometimes it's difficult to, I guess, maybe make like what you say, like, well, I'm hoping in this case the one decision I make here is going to be the right one.
I think the worst part of WallKicks is that he did Dark Shopping Mall earlier, and he didn't have that.
Yeah.
That's one check that's like really far away right now for WallKicks.
So for still not having the book, in this case, still can't check Desert Entrance, which of course we know is the bomb shop. But he's a good opportunity, of course, for him to check Desert Ledge. Also, Ice Palace, we have Fire Rod, we have Cane of Samaria to make this go extra quickly. And we have the big key as well, so WallKicks is sitting real happy.
It makes sense, like, yeah, okay, so never mind. I was gonna say, he knows all the penalties for crystals, but it's actually Kaesden that knows.
Right, yeah. Yeah, WallKicks he hasn't found the back of Skull Woods. He hasn't certainly beaten Mothula. I think, and he hasn't also, again, no book means that he hasn't talked to the bomb shop guy either, so he doesn't know about 5-6.
This makes all the sense in the world. Just, if you're able to clear a dungeon, just go for it. Like, there's so many items in here, 8 items, it just makes sense. If you can full clear this dungeon, just go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I also see kind of like a consequence of being in the Dark World coming in from Hyrule Castle. These ropes do not die in one shot by the Master Sword, but of course at the same time, Kaesden's kind of using this to his advantage, you know, because they're basically like the grasshoppers, I guess, like in, you know, Thieves Town. He can take an easy, you know, quicker death warp out.
And I mean, if you don't have mirror, this is like the fast way to
exactly,
do it, so.
Yeah.
Nothing so far out of value here in Ice, except that Tempered Sword.
I was gonna say that Tempered Sword is not necessarily progression, because we are only needing, you know, in this case, Master Sword to defeat the game, but you are never gonna say no to a Tempered Sword.
Especially not going into a Cold Sarah fight here.
Yeah, that's actually very timely sword.
Oh, and then powder as well.
Powder.
Wow.
Okay, so WallKicks even can powder an anti-fairy before he goes into the fight as well.
See, Clearance, there's those 10 arrows he could have just skipped getting.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. In this case, could have just waited basically to come into, you know, Ice Palace on like 6 hearts or 7 hearts or something in order to replenish his arrows.
Okay, so far, powder and tempered sword, so that's quite convenient in Ice Palace. Can't really be too mad about that.
Yeah. not sure if WallKicks is kind of eyeing his health right now before he goes into Cold Stare. I'm just wondering if he, maybe is thinking about trying to bomb jump a thing or two. I mean, bomb jumping does cost health, but looks like he is at least just gonna pick up a couple hearts. We love ice physics. We love ice physics.
See, WallKicks are a real gamer. He doesn't.
Yes, exactly.
He's not scared of anything. He just dodges everything.
Yeah. You don't need health. You don't get hit.
And also, he has a red potion, so like he's in perfect condition.
All right, Kaesden here is back in Skull Woods. He did pick up, of course, that Skull Woods big key from the library. Hopefully, he remembers. Okay. Looks like he's just gonna try and set up for a bomb jump.
I mean, that's a nice piece of art because it's a refill, so...
It is a refill. Yeah,
can save your life next time.
Yes, I mean, especially in Dark World. I mean, we're finally actually getting up to something that's more on like reasonable health, right? Looks like this gets gonna be 8 hearts, 7 hearts for WallKicks. So I mean, like, they're definitely doing some very lowish percent stuff at the beginning.
WallKicks grabbing his 3rd crystal already. Wow. 3
yeah,
crystals
lots of...
8 minutes in.
I know, under the hour mark, right? Like, how does this happen in Crosskeys? Normally, you're like, I don't know, hour and 15, maybe your first pendant, clear, and then like the first crystal maybe comes in like an hour 30. But I mean, both like Kaesden and WallKicks making quite good progress.
I mean, like whenever you get your first crystal at 1:30 and you check your race room or / the ladder Discord and you'd be like, is my opponent done yet? Like, where did I screw up somewhere? Like, what did I do wrong?
Let's not think about these. Yeah. Alright, so right, you mentioned in this case, like, WallKicks may have dark shopping mall entrance isolated. Looks like at least we're gonna not leave anything behind in Light World shopping mall.
It could convenient to find your Hyrule Castle entrance.
Yeah.
The other one is actually on the K45, so they're quite useful if you want to get to Dark World, but then again we have full Dark World access, so... Alright, look at that, there's my favorite cave.
You think he's gonna bonk over? Or try to?
I mean, I hope so.
I really want to see this, for you, Alex, and of course for the rest of us. Alright, okay, step 1 is that he's going to bomb himself over, and then he's going to start and the step 2 is he's going to start dashing.
It's the wrong pixel. Well.
Sad. He went over too far left. We're gonna have to tell him later that he needs to stay on the right side more.
Well, at least the bombing yourself over here is quite nice because you end up at the pod area.
Yeah, and...
Not too bad getting over here this way. I think we might hit this part of the seed somewhere soon where it slows down from all the progression items.
Yeah, and right, we're still kind of looking for some like entrances as well in terms of dungeons, right? Like we haven't found Thief's Town yet either, right?
Eastern haven't been found, Pod haven't been found. Well, that's the only 2 dungeons that haven't been found actually. So
I think we haven't found GT either, or Castle Tower. Right?
Oh yeah, I mean...
Right. We don't necessarily have to go defeat those necessarily, because, of course they're not strictly required. But in this case, like, there are still going to be some fairly lucrative locations that we would still like to see. WallKicks, I guess, wanted to take a death warp.
I mean, at this point, those entrances that you mentioned could just be locked behind nits or /mirror. And it will slow down until you find your next logical thing to do.
Yeah, right. Actually, yeah, maybe actually that the hit from the crab was actually intentional for WallKicks. He is on the Light World side, like unlike Kaesden, who's on the Dark World side. And so, these ropes and rats and bats and whatever, like, they're actually gonna do, yeah, in this case, half a heart of damage versus, like, the 2 hearts that was, basically for Kaesden. pretty actually good thinking. Yeah, for WallKicks, you know, just because like he knows death warping is, you know, going to be a little bit slower inside the castle, so maybe just taking a little bit of extra damage. Finally, getting crabbed like in Ice Rock Cave area is a good thing.
Don't say that loud too.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Maybe the wounds are still fresh on some people's minds.
There's WallKicks realize it, like he's like, okay, well I could have like death warp faster if I went that direction first.
Yeah, but I mean he wasn't definitely gonna know that. Just how you know like how things ended up working out for him.
So we don't really have many entrances that are green if we look at our runners and maps at this point. So it might slow down here for a bit, for a while at least, until somebody else makes the correct play, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. By the correct play, we just mean like the next piece of progression. I was gonna say that I was surprised a bit that Kaesden picked up that map that was sitting on Pyramid. We found out it was a map Tower of Hera, but I believe that he in this case had all of his crystal pendant knowledge, so maybe it wasn't actually necessary.
I'm actually I don't think he realized. Well, did he speak to Agina? Not Agina, Sarashava. Because he unmarked his one palace as a pendant.
Oh, okay.
That could be a thing. Maybe just skip talking to Sarashava.
No, I thought he did make that talk. Yeah, I thought he did talk to Saha early. But okay, yeah, alright, yeah, so those gloves, as you mentioned, you know, earlier, and at least reminded me, the catfish now is in logic. We can finally get over here, you know. The first barrier, of course, we get through with only the hammer. The second barrier, though, 100% requires those gloves. That big key to pot, though, is certainly going to be quite nice. We don't surprisingly have that many small keys to pot, though.
We have 2 small keys, I think. Yeah, we only have 2 from, like, Case have 2 and WallKicks have 2, so... Well, you can beat the dungeon, but you can also... Then you have to, like, do the decision of skipping items inside a pod. But then again, it's pod, so it will always have at least 1 small key inside.
yeah, that's actually a very good point. Certainly not be surprised in this case to see at least 1, maybe 2, maybe, you know, 3 keys, you know, spot pod keys and pod. But of course, you know, logically speaking, we do need all 6 of them in order to complete the game. Helmasaur, of course, is locked by all 6 of them. You know, we don't are actually going to go find all 6 pod keys, but it's going to be quite helpful to have. Just in this case, again, as you mentioned, right? We want to be able to try and get as many items out of pod. We want to be able to get those keys. Yeah. This is interesting because this is actually one of the entrances, as you mentioned, Alex, earlier, that WallKicks unfortunately isolated because he was in here, you know, in Dark Shopping Mall earlier without a glove, and GT has a lot of items here.
Kind of surprising that we're finding GT now to 1 hour 6 minutes, and we have 0 small keys for GT.
WallKicks, I believe, had a small key, right, from Vitreous?
Oh, he actually got 2 small keys for GT, but for Kaesden only had, like, 0. That's quite rare.
Right, I was gonna say, yeah, quite the key difference in this case for GT.
I mean, there's always there's 2 small keys that Kaesden can pick up under pots, so that's not too bad. But you have to skip, like, right side, or the, like, firebar room or whatever. Oh my god. There's good lord. Well then.
Well, okay. That ice rod, 100% in logic, by the way. It only requires Canis and Mario, doesn't require any keys that we've kind of seen on Kaesden's side. That is a very important item, though, for people.
And I mean, we can also clear for rock.
Yeah, no, exactly. We have the big key. We have the ice rod in order to kill Trinix now. So certainly Kaesden knows where he's probably going to go to next after that ice rod pickup, but this is quite precarious for WallKicks. Because he needs to, like, we know in this case for sure he needs to go back over there to Dark Shopping Mall. when he's gonna go do that. Hope it's gonna be on the sooner side, but again, you know, he might just have different priorities at this point.
There's small key to castle there. That's actually our second small. Oh, and there's the mids.
Oh my
wow.
god, there are the mids. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, so I mean, seeing in chat, especially from GFE, right, saying that, you know, we can normally come over here maybe with some other equipment. Mids certainly could. Mids are not gonna be on the table for WallKicks because we just saw them on Kaesden side for GT.
This is quite insane because we're not actually that super far beyond, like, far from being go mode. I think the only thing, we need to find entrances, of course, but those mids unlock a few entrances.
Yeah, right. I think so. I believe, right. I want to say, right. Okay, right. Thanks to again our awesome trackers. At least on WallKicks' side, he did scout out Turtle Rock entrance, which is of course the Quake Medallion. I was gonna say, like, I think at least between our two runners, we have access to everything except for that particular location. I guess we don't necessarily know what Meyer is either yet. But like.
The thing is that we're looking for Thieves Town Big Key, and there it is.
Oh
and
my gosh,
Kaesden is looking for Eastern Palace Big Key, which WallKicks already have.
Yeah.
For Kaesden, it's one item away from going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and also Kaesden picked up his 4th Turtle Rock key, small key, of course. You know, that does, of course, actually, surprisingly, logically, we do actually now have access to Trinex.
Yep, that as well. Where did
WallKicks
pick up that Eastern Palace Big Key? Because he have had it for a long time. If anybody remembers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I thought it was also quite early.
Because I feel like you have added that big key since, like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes into the seed. It's gonna be interesting to see where that one ended up being. Oh, there's a big key to Desert Palace, which is a pendant, but still interesting. Where is the Eastern Palace big key? And where's Eastern Empod? I think that's the true story of the seed.
Oh, the Eastern Palace big key was at Magic Bat location, right? It was a drop down from the Lost Woods. Yeah.
And Kaesden have seen that one, but
right. I just don't think he's gone back there after the hammer because in this he got to Moldorm and then he just found a bunch of other stuff to go to.
All right, so that could be a thing. Like if Kaesden maybe forgot about that one because they've had the mirror, well, not the mirror, the hammer and flute for a long time.
Kaesden certainly hasn't run out of stuff to do, right? So, you know, it's not going to preclude him from going back there, but yes, it is going to be after a location he is going to go back. I would say, though, that WallKicks right now has a little bit more of an urgency in order to kind of go back to, Dark Shopping Mall, yeah.
And I can't really see that being a thing at the moment, at least. Can't really see that being a priority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a Dark Shopping Mall, Catfish, you know, we also did see there was required pod big key on Catfish as well. So, yeah, we kind of need good feelings or good thoughts for WallKicks in order to go back over there.
I mean, I'm gonna say like this, it's a freaking jet seed, like this is nuts.
For Crosskeys especially, this is actually quite good, right? Boots, you know, out of logic, of course, surprisingly, because we still have 0 Meyer keys, Meyer small keys after all of this time. But, I mean, just basically the speed at which we were able to get things, right? Early hookshot, early flute, you know, early, you know, ish boots, Master Sword, you know, basically under, like, the, you know, like 15-minute mark or something like that. It's been quite nice.
We had, like, pretty much everything after Kakariko, not gonna lie, like... This makes sense as well from Kaesden. 2 items here on the right side that we might need. Like, you're done with this dungeon until you find the entrance for the big chest. Unless you don't find it at all. Because that could be a thing in the seed.
Right, right. Alright, yeah, of course. Kind of contrasting to WallKicks' venture over here on the Firelock side of Turtle Rock. Kaesden has a ton more health, so he's basically just gonna autopilot probably within muscle memory. Unlike WallKicks kind of had to really take his time in order to make sure that he doesn't, you know, death warp really early.
Now, where does Kaesden go from here? Because I think he knows where there is a big key, unless he like didn't check it at all. Like, you probably checked the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks like, yeah, maybe this is a flute to 3 because he accidentally, you know, fluted to 2. And
he's running the wrong way.
Yeah,
so...
but not quite the direction he needs to go.
Or maybe. Or maybe not.
This Kaesden, where are you going?
Okay.
Oh, but speaking of, WallKicks is doing the thing that he needs to do, like right now. He is definitely going back to unisolate his GT location here for in Dark Shopping Mall.
I think that Kaesden might have forgot about the big key.
Certainly hope not.
And hopefully if WallKicks here, that he goes into the portal again and swims up to Catfish.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because
right.
Like, even if he does this right now, like this is fine. He will get his items. He will get the Thieves Town big key and mitts and all that stuff, but he still needs to get that pop big key.
Right, yeah, I mean, WallKicks, at least, he has done step 1 of the couple of things that he still needs to go do, right? And as you mentioned, like, after he finishes up GT, he still, in this case, still needs to go visit Catfish, because it has a requisite pod big key. And of course, also, coming over here with WallKicks, he has, in this case, well, 2 more keys, in this case, than what Kaesden had earlier, so gonna be a bit more exploration that is available to WallKicks in GT.
Kaesden just picked up their first
yeah.
yeah.
I guess I'm kind of curious to see if WallKicks is just gonna rush Ice Armos from here, as opposed to kind of like, I guess like, you know, death warping out basically after he, you know, gets Compass Chest or Compass
I mean, he will this WallKicks, he will probably just get a mirror here.
That's a good point. We did find lots of really good things, and you know, WallKicks being, I mean, it looks like he is interested in death warping though.
Look here, mirror. No, the same color.
That is also clear as well. Hey, look, our first Meyer spell key.
Alright, we're getting a Meyer area check here. We might find Pod and Eastern here. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't found a connector over here yet either. And we're gonna be able to scout out the medallion for this entrance. It is ether, so we can get in.
I mean, that's not the dungeons we're looking for. Is this a dungeon? I mean, it's Castle Tower.
It is a dungeon, and, well, Kaesden, I guess, is gonna give us a sneak peek as to what the 2 chests are here inside. I very much doubt he's gonna complete it. We did see a map on Lumberjack, so he is definitely not interested in that thing. Yeah, but at this point...
WallKicks gonna be happy now. He's gonna pick up mitts. The thing that's it's kind of worrying that Kaesden haven't got... Where's Kaesden?
Is he actually gonna go finish up Castle Tower?
Why are...
Oh no, he is just walking out, I guess, because he needs to flip the switch.
Oh yeah, right.
He needs... This is almost exclusive content at this point for Castle Tower. No mirror means that this is actually, you know, heads up on Kaesden's part to remember that he can actually, you know, get out of the dungeon. I guess he thinks that it's gonna be faster than death warping out with blue mail. I mean, he does have 10 hearts, right, that he has to worry about.
I was actually worried for a second that he was going to do.
Yeah, that's what it definitely looked like. I was like, I definitely know that he saw that map that he definitely does not need.
Oh, there's Pod.
Hey, yeah, there is Pod.
Pod with 2
clearable.
small keys.
Yeah, clearable crystal dungeon. But again, as you said, where the heck are the Pod keys, dude? Like, you know, there needs to be 4 more out there somewhere for us to get that. Oh my gosh, dude.
Well.
Oh wow. All right, well that mirror suddenly just made death warping out a whole heck of a lot easier on Kaesden's side.
Well, I mean, as it looks like right now, we need that mirror for Eastern Palace entrance and Thieves' Tower, so it's not a big deal, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, like these, and it's still, I don't know, mid-game at this point still. So having the mirror means that we haven't already traversed basically the entire world, you know, twice over. So it's at least going to be a bit more efficient on Kaesden's side, and WallKicks' side as well when he eventually gets there.
I'll check on the Kaesden.
Look at that! All right, so that is the first of our potentially many pod smalls in pod on the Bollock side. Yes, of course, why not?
I think if I'm watching Kaesden's tracker complete like map, I think he actually unmarked the drop down.
That is concerning.
I think he only has the Spike Cave marked on this map tracker.
Let's hope for his sake that it's just going to be an oversight and that he does in fact have that still mentally locked, but that is quite the situation if that's the case on Kaesden's side.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for our friend Kaesden here.
Well, it looks like though, was this the water check? Or this is Ice Palace entrance? Locked by mitts? Alright, yeah, thanks Iberian. Yes, alright, confirm in this case that mitts actually are required. And WallKicks, of course, someone who is very happy in order to come in here with both the big key and the bow, means that he is going to only have to see this dungeon exactly once.
Yeah, but we have a huge issue for WallKicks. Catfish is super isolated.
Alright, so looks like we've got potentially there's another pod key in pod, or not in Light World pod. Finally, in this case. But yeah, so now we're actually going to have faced a couple of different situations. WallKicks is missing that pod big key, which is on Catfish, that Kaesden does have, as you know, we've seen him basically demolished Helmasaur. Kaesden is missing the Eastern Palace big key, which is at the Master Bat entrance, which is like the Lost Woods Thieves drop down. And yeah, we kind of need. And we think Kaesden might have just marked that location off his tracker, so we kind of need good thoughts for both runners in order to find their go mode big keys.
Kind of funny that WallKicks just like got the big key, could have like just checked the big chest, but like nah, we're just gonna check do it the normal way. So Eastern Palace big key is in the Thieves drop down at Magic Bat.
At Magic Bat,
and since Kaesden haven't done it yet, and it looks like on map, like untracked is on like on his tracker map tracker, I'm a little bit worried here. Oh, look at that! Another small key to pod. They're piling up now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're finally finding all of the pod keys, but I guess at least for WallKicks, I guess actually no. What does he still need at this point?
I mean, WallKicks needs that pod big for Gomer.
Oh my god,
so many.
So yeah, okay. Apparently, all the pod keys are just sitting in Eastern Palace.
There's 2 there and 1 inside pod and there's one in the dam, so that's all of them, right?
Yeah.
We had 2 earlier.
Yeah, we were actually wondering where all of them were, and turns out they were just like all laking.
But there's one situation that Kaesden could have it like could save himself if he wants to do Spike Cave and he checks the Drota. Because I think Spike Caves are like in the Smith house. That could save him as well.
Okay. Alright, okay, looks like though we are getting, I guess maybe some unofficial confirmation, maybe from Windfox that maybe he's more familiar with how Kaesden, I guess, plays Crosskeys. Maybe there is still some hope for him to go check the Smith, the magic bat drop down. So if that's the case, it's really going to be, in this case, a race between, well, who goes to their go mode big key first? Is it going to be WallKicks, who has, in this case, Catfish pretty isolated, or is it going to be Kaesden, who just has not gone over to Magic Bat yet?
Well, hopefully WallKicks goes to Catfish before finding Pod, because if he finds that mirror, he's not gonna Catfish for like forever.
Do you remember what you said at the very beginning, basically, of this broadcast, where it's like the mirror is really good, but if you're one item, in this case Pod Bicky from Go Mode, and then you find the mirror, like, do you know how unhappy you are?
Yeah, it is literally the worst location, like, thing you can get when you're one item away from it. GFE panic would go make me
let's not think about such scenarios yet. You know, it's still we're not even an hour and a half into the seed, so still plenty of good time for for people to not panic yet. But WallKicks, of course, you know, he hasn't run out of stuff to do. This is going to be a very natural thing. You know, he found the Astronaut in GT, full access basically. You know, also whatever number of small keys he has for Trinex, just to be a nice crystal.
WallKicks is demolishing Trinex right now. Okay, so WallKicks, well, we have found every single dungeon except one. Thieves Town is still out there somewhere.
Yeah, and at this point, we are kind of running out of like locations, right? I guess, have we checked?
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, never. Well, alright, so Thieves Town is, Kaesden is definitely gonna full clear this place. No small key yet. Still very well could just be here in Thieves Town. But at least he's gonna pick up, you know, the other 7 items that's available to him. And of course, Go Mode Thieves Town versus like a regular, you know, full clear Thieves Town isn't gonna be too big of a difference. So it's certainly not gonna be costing Kaesden that much time. Of course, these Isaacs, though, that are gonna keep sniping him, they are gonna cost some time.
I mean, if Kaesden was in full Go mode here, he would like just go straight to the back.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
Like he got all these annoying transitions, screen transitions inside the dungeon. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see who actually gets their big key. Like that should be a prediction in chat. Who gets their big key first?
Who gets their big key? Yes, this is
who goes
kind
Catfish first and who goes to the drop down first?
Yeah, and of course, right. I guess this just a little bit more time that Kaesden's spending in Thieves Town is actually going to buy WallKicks just a little bit of extra time for him to go to Catfish. Yeah, that's right. WallKicks checking desert location because he just hadn't gotten an opportunity to with a late book. Found the bomb shop, not even interested in basically finding this out with the 5/6s.
Yeah, I mean, for WallKicks, he knows where that bomb takes him. He knows.
Oh yeah, exactly. And like he has right, and I was gonna say right, and like he also has full crystal pendant knowledge. So the fact that he, you know, is specifically 5/6, like he doesn't care anymore.
WallKicks is trapped.
Oh my gosh!
Great.
Where is WallKicks Aga Tower? That is actually quite hilarious. That was like the Eastern Palace reaction is like, I wonder actually if he doesn't want to go dip it because he doesn't have the mirror. But you know what? Here we are with the mirror.
And it's good. This is a time save. This is a time save. He will get his mirror, then he will go into the Cali.
Yes. That's right. All right. hope for WallKicks after getting his mirror that he is going to be able to use it efficiently and go to Catfish at some point, even though the mirror does not help him whatsoever in Catfish. But you are absolutely correct, Alex, though, with that mirror. You know, very contrast to what Kaesden did earlier, you know, basically just walk out after he got the second chest. You know, WallKicks is going to be able to mirror out and make things significantly faster.
I think the Kaesden needs to start wrapping up his dungeons as well. I still need to clear Meyer and...
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, Kaesden, you don't have big key. Not small key, I mean.
Yeah, that's right. Kaesden probably just autopiloting, you know, thinking I'm gonna full clear Thieves Town, but yes, no small key means that we cannot get the big chest, even though we do with the hammer. But actually, yeah, you also didn't bring up a good point. You know, WallKicks, I think, certainly has, especially looking at the tracker, right, he has a significant number of dungeons already completed, versus Kaesden, or at least crystals. Kaesden, right, he found Meyer early, you know, got the boots out of there, technically, you know, logically out of logic, but then he decided to not go to the back and defeat the trios, most likely due to his equipment, because it was pretty, you know, tattered at that point. And so he needs to go do that. He needs to go finish Ice Palace. He is finishing up Thieves now. Still up scores. Needs to go find Eastern and clear that as well. All of this stuff, right, is basically just still giving WallKicks some amount of time in order to go. Well, eventually we know he needs to go over to Catfish.
Well, but at the same time, WallKicks is using a lot of his time as well by full clearing dungeons. Well, checking more stuff than Kaesden can do. Right,
yeah. No, that's definitely true. We didn't see Kaesden do half of this stuff, but there is Quake.
Oh boy. More stuff on WallKicks if he doesn't go to, oh boy.
Is this magic bad here, Kaesden?
Oh my god, come on. Kaesden. Check drop down.
Alright, looks like magic bads.
Well, this is go mode. Kaesden is full go mode 129.31.
Right, so he just needs to go find Eastern Palace, and then I think he's very happy.
Well, they still need to clear his dungeons.
Right, and he needs to go clear a bunch of dungeons, but I think at this point, like, you know, he's been looking for that Eastern Palace big key for some amount of time, and jeez.
Location, or is he?
That is, wow, we're just beelining it to everything.
Yep, here we go. Oh, there we go. I think this is pretty much over for our good friend WallKicks.
Yes. So right. So at like 1 hour, sub 1 hour 30, Kaesden found his go mode big key at Magic Backdrop, and then the very next location that he went to, in this case Ice Palace entrance, is Eastern Palace, which is in this case his last unknown dungeon. And
WallKicks actually found that small key to Thieves Town in Park Maze. Yeah. More checks to do.
More checks. Oh man.
I mean, Kaesden is a really good runner, but I will still say that since WallKicks is really a top runner when it comes to Crosskeys, that this is a minor upset here for WallKicks. I don't think WallKicks will be so happy with, since he's he got all these goodies in the beginning of the seed. Like I said from the beginning that this is rigged, right? But don't skip Catfish.
Don't skip Catfish. That is actually a very, very good lesson. Yeah, WallKicks is finding all of these small keys to pot, and he's like, man, can we just make one of them bigger? Like, that's the thing I really want at this point.
Can you, if you could put, 4 small keys into, merge them together, can you, get a big key from out of nowhere?
Yeah, exactly. I would like that. Pot Big Key is probably not the only, WallKicks is probably not the only runner who has been screwed over by, Pot Big Keys. Certainly can think of a couple other ones that are pretty notable.
I wonder if, well, he must know where Ice Palace is, right? Kaesden. I don't remember if he's... I think I saw him go in there, but I'm not sure anymore. It's been a long time ago.
Now, I'm actually trying to remember where in Ice Palace WallKicks got his sword. I think
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right. So it looks like actually Kaesden is still looking or opening up chests on the way. So he potentially, you know, once he gets into Ice Palace, will be able to get Temper Sword, assuming he's still checking.
I mean, in Ice Palace, like the checks there are so fast because of the
A Icebreaker, right?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's so like. Where is Kaesden going? Isn't Meyer and where is Kaesden going?
Well, he still needs
He's in full
Ice
go.
Palace as well.
Yeah, but I think you found it earlier.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely found both dungeons. But yeah, you're right. Where is he?
Meyer's here, but in the Light World.
Maybe he mismarked it.
Hmm.
Alright, so
there
okay. Alright. Maybe he just wanted to be in Dark World for later? Guess I'm not sure. But at least, right, so okay, so WallKicks, with that mirror, and basically a full item clear pod at this point, has at least finished up. So now, well, gonna do a quick check because he did find the dam, so Sunken Treasure is just, of course, nothing for WallKicks. Come on, alright, go to Catfish, WallKicks.
Sadly, I don't think Catfish exists in his mind anymore, because he got so many other things to do. Like, you still got Smiths and finding Thieves Town, and I mean, you found a dam, and I guess you don't want to do Green Pendant Swamp either, so...
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Or maybe this is actually a play over to Catfish from here.
Has he checked any of the mirror lock locations, like Graveyard Ledge? I think King's Tomb is also on the table for him, potentially.
I don't.
I mean,
know.
if WallKicks continues, by the way, this is going to be amazingly good news for WallKicks. It is not quite the Catfish play that we were hoping for.
A nice spooky from nice spooky from Kaesden. But yeah, WallKicks not going to Catfish makes me sad.
Yeah, that is, yeah, once in this case he kind of hopped off Graveyard Ledge in the Light World, he kind of left his portal there. Looks like he's just basically interested in at least doing the boost checks.
I think he also just wants to find Thieves Town at this point. Like, he knows that he still has that dungeon. There's, what is it, 8 items? Yeah, 8 items in Thieves, so... But, I mean, it hurts my soul that, like, Catfish is far out of the way for our good friend Wally.
Yeah, that Catfish really should be closer. I mean, what a big bully for the scene.
Now...
Well, I was gonna say, we are back in the Dark World. Every single time WallKicks is over here, like, I'm just like, oh, maybe this is gonna be the thing. And it's like, no, there are just so many other things for him to go do that's available. I think you also did mention, right, Smith Chain is also available. He's also looking, in this case, for Thieves Town, right? And we just see, you know, especially having Thieves Town small key as well, you know, that's gonna be another available 8 checks for him to go find.
Hey, look at that.
Big key. Look, we got our
sword.
We got our sword! Oh, great!
Well, he will find at least our good friend Thieves Town here. So that's... where is Kaesden going? You need to clear one more dungeon, Kaesden. You can't go to Ganon. Kaesden, you have 1 dungeon left.
Well...
Kaesden! No!
Oh dear. So he's... hopefully Kaesden is reading the text, because, if he doesn't... okay, at least he's reading. I was gonna say, so, like, yo, Kaesden's on Master Sword, by the way, right? So if he was just kind of, like, autopiloting and going, like, he could have gone through Ganon, like, a lot... he could have spent a lot of time on Ganon, right? In order to, before kind of finding out that he needs to go do he needs to go finish up Ice Palace.
I mean, to be honest, we have all done that. Somewhere down the
Right, of course, yes.
Playing rando, like, everybody has definitely done that mistake, like counting wrong or maybe clear dependent and thought it was a crystal, and you're like, oh no. I mean, it's still fun every single time it happens, though.
Yeah, in this case, I don't think that little, you know, early premature trip over to Ganon is probably going to cost Kaesden too much. Of course, as you mentioned earlier, right? We got Fire Rod. We don't have Half Magic, but probably doesn't need it. We do, of course, have Kina Samaria to do Icebreaker. Yeah, and Kaesden is definitely still checking. He probably, you know, Master Sword Silverless probably didn't necessarily want to go, you know, do that, but face of course, when he thought he had all of his crystals finished, he was willing to do so. But now we have another opportunity in order to find something else. And assuming he does continue to make checks on the way, he's gonna find his Temper Sword very shortly.
That's a nice part with this dungeon having a sword, actually. It's just right on the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if the sword was in like Iced Tea, you know, that we saw WallKicks clip earlier, it probably wasn't gonna happen. But the fact that it is in Spike Chest, and even Map Chest here, you know, that Kaesden's checking makes me think that he's gonna get a sword.
Still wonder where the other bow is in the sea.
Yeah. Well, we were, you know, a good thing that Kaesden left because, you know, we weren't gonna find out until in this case later. Silvers actually can be in Dave's Sound Big Chest. You know, WallKicks does have access to it, so we're gonna see it very shortly. Meanwhile, though, Kaesden with that Tempered Sword and everything else, definitely gonna be very confident after this boss fight that, you know, Ganon will indeed be vulnerable.
It's gonna be kind of fun if just for good measure you drop down even though you have all the crystals. Only because you did it one time you get punished, so you would still
yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's like Ganon never forgets.
And GFE pointing out something really good, like WallKicks being one of the guys that will be in 0-1 going into next round of Swiss is not going to be fun at all. Like WallKicks in that position of being 0 wins, 1 loss, that's not going to be fun.
Yeah. I mean, again, Crosskeys, you know, can actually be quite the equalizer, right? A lot of potential, like, in this case, you know, Catfish was just not a friendly location, you know, for WallKicks, and, well, these things can happen. And, yeah, we've got a lot of upsets, actually, in Swiss Round 1. While, you know, being 0-1 might, you know, afford you a better chance of a, you know, of maybe like a softer opponent, but you got people like WallKicks also kind of lurking out there, mentioning may not necessarily give you like the best of feelings.
I would say if I was like one of the guys that like got 1-0, like 0-1, or 1, I would, and if I got drawn against one of these guys, I would be like, oh, there's no way.
Yeah.
Throw me out of this tournament already.
Yeah, of course. Right. Taking an early loss, especially, is not going to be, you know, a big deal. There is going to be 8 rounds of Swiss for this tournament, and so you can certainly afford yourself at least 1 loss. I'd probably check with some of the admins, I guess, for what the exact like minimum requirements it is in order to get to brackets. But I want to say that you could take 2 losses and still be okay. Maybe there were some tiebreaker shenanigans out there as well.
I think it happened this tournament, which we saw last year. Like last year, with saw good runners having like 0-1 or 0-2, and then you just made it into the bracket stage. So, like I think you said like in the beginning of this broadcast, like, you said it, and you said it like just a few minutes ago. Like you never know what happens in this game mode because it's an equalizer compared to like casual boots or regular open. Like things happens, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Things do happen at Crosskeys. Alright, looks like we do have actually Amazing Ampharos in chat, one of also the long-standing admins of Crosskeys tournament, confirming that we do have potential, 2 races basically still looks like it's going to be okay. Oh, cute!
Well, We're never getting silver arrows in this seed. That's for sure.
We didn't even find the GT Big Key, did we?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, we haven't. We actually haven't found. Oh, well, nope. I actually checked the Trinex one, so no, we haven't found it. So the silver arrows are atop of Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, which of course are blocked by the GT Big Key, which we have no idea where it is.
Oh, it's one palace at this point.
Oh yeah, that's true. We actually, that's actually quite nice, I would say, for a Crosskeys seed. Even though we did find the dam, we found everything we were, had, in this case, to clear out Swan Palace, we didn't have to touch it whatsoever. Always kind of a dream in Crosskeys.
Doesn't really happen that often.
Yes. No decisions about left side swamp, do I go in, nothing. It was just, flying. But with that, looks like Kaesden, man, what a seed! You were talking about Jet Seed? Get your G's out in chat for Kaesden finishing with an astounding 1:43.20. Like, that's a ridiculous time for Crosskeys.
1:43, that's faster than like normal seeds.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
1:43. That is fast. That's not something you really see that often when it comes to Crosskeys.
Yeah, especially with some of the previous seeds that have been going on this past week for Crosskeys. Like, you scroll through like the results section, and it's like 2 hours and 20, 2 hours and 40, 3 hours. Boots at 2:27 go mode, and so finish after time. It's just like,
why
man.
why are you guys talking into the room? Why?
I'm sorry. I don't want to bring up any bad memories.
Oh, PTSD is real.
Yeah. I think though that this is actually probably the fastest time so far. I mean, I can double check for the results, but it really does feel like this is probably one of the fastest times this week so far for Crosskeys.
I'm actually just checking it right now, and I can't really see any. We have 151. We have 159. Well, I think this one is the fastest actually. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's quite good. Speaking of the fastest finisher, we have Kaesden joining us here in the commentary booth. GG's.
GG's.
How did you finish so quickly, Kaesden? Did you see your time?
I forgot to start my own timer on my stream. So I did not have any idea where the clock was. I knew it was quick, but holy hell. That is like a 20-something minute PB in Crosskeys for me.
And it happens in the round 1 of the Swiss stages against WallKicks.
Against
all people.
That is quite insane. So I just have to ask you one thing, Kaesden. Did you kind of forget about the big key on the drop-down in Kakariko?
The big key on the drop-down, where?
In the bad drop.
No, I hadn't forgot about it. I was still looking for entrances. I knew it could be either Eastern or GT big key, because I had everything else. So I figured I would just keep looking for what I needed, because I needed Thieves Town. I hadn't found that yet. I hadn't found Eastern yet. I didn't even know if I needed to do Eastern. So I figured I'll just see if I can find the dungeons first. If I find it, I'll go grab the key and hope that it's the Eastern key. When I did finally remember, yeah, it's there, because I had kind of forgotten about it for a little while. When I did remember it was there, I just figured I'll just go grab it, and then I'll keep looking, and that was roughly after I had beaten Thieves.
I was a little bit worried that we might, maybe forgot about it at one point. So I was like, no, go back.
Yeah, I also did have an earlier question, I guess, or at least for your early game, because you certainly was the first to go inside Mire first. Any particular reason, I guess, why you didn't necessarily want to go beat Vitreous immediately? Or just kind of a decision?
Equipment. I was hoping to have better stuff. I don't remember if I was on Fighter or Master at the time. I think I was on Fighter Sword and 5 hearts, and I was down to 1 or 2, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this right now, because if I go there, with how little equipment I had, I know I'm just going to die, so I'm probably going to have to go back in anyway, so I might as well just bail and go do other stuff and hopefully come back more prepared later.
Very, very fair. Yeah, the early game...
I was just playing to what I knew I could and couldn't do, so...
that has certainly worked out for you quite well this seed, I will say. Finding I think the early booths, we still... Do you really not have any Meyer Smalls still?
I still don't have any Meyer Smalls, no. So those boots are not in Logic at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're like in right side or top of GT or whatever, but yeah, no, I never found them.
See, that's why I always say don't play by Logic. Then you will not get your boots.
It's Crosskeys. If you follow Logic, you're probably going to be in trouble.
Exactly. Just get your boots.
A few things I'll stick to Logic for, depending on the situation, but generally I just try to do as many checks as I can in as short amount of time as I can.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we also got some nice new content on your side, you know, because you found the mirror, of course, in pod right after you went to Aga Tower. We're like, oh yeah, that's right, you need to push the block in order to get out.
Yeah, I knew the drop down was dead, but I have both keys. I want to at least check this stuff, and I knew I was going to have to come out, and then finding the mirror right after, it's like, well, you know, I'm glad to get a mirror, but that kind of sucked.
I think both me and Clearmouse were a little worried that you were going to do Aga Climb. I was like, why? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I guess maybe just for completion, you certainly did make, you know, more than one trip over to Ganon. Just kind of an oversight on your part, because
I just
you already wrote off.
I completely forgot about doing ice. That was just a mistake.
No worries, of course.
When I did pod, that's when I kind of realized, you know, I'm in item go mode. I probably need one big key. It's probably there, and then I thought about going back in, but like, you know what, I have to take this. I know how good WallKicks is. I have to take some kind of gamble somewhere just to try and stay as far forward as I can, so.
Sadly,
yeah, I was gonna say, like, everything that you did, you know, I mean, in terms of, like, forward, right? 143 finish time at Crosskeys, like, you certainly did some very good things.
Apparently.
Yeah, so you getting that glove the first time of like getting down Dark Shopping Mall was huge. Like that was absolutely huge because you had just done Catfish at the same time. So that worked perfectly for you. Finding the pod big key and then finding GT, which had what was it? Thief's Son big.
At the mitts, a bunch of big keys.
Yeah, that was kind of like the.
Just worked out perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of like, you know, kind of like the, I don't know, right, I think WallKicks said earlier that he was going to just have the race time chat close until he finished, but yeah, that was kind of like the big
keeps it down, so, and, like, I don't think people expect a 140 something finish.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure, I certainly didn't. That was kind of insane.
You guys got a lot of early game stuff too, right? I mean, I think you were technically like later to the Fire Rod than WallKicks, but I mean, like, I think just in terms of like early game stuff, you got a Master Sword. I don't know, within what 15 minutes or something like that. You guys like early-ish boots. You got early hook shot. You know, which kind of led to also like a flute as well. Like, I think we got early bow. Hammer was on Muldorm. Like, you know, all the stuff for Hera was like right there for you. Like, it was quite nice.
This sea was so front-loaded. Like, it was insane to watch. Like, I don't remember seeing a seed being that front-loaded, especially in Crosskeys for a long time.
Yeah, it was pretty front-loaded, and it just rewarded as, like, the game would give you stuff. It's like, hey, you can go beat this dungeon. You go beat it, and you'd get something or get somewhere important. It's just like, okay, cool. And just keep following what the game was giving me. That's all I really did, and I just happened to hit the route.
Yeah, I mean, 147 collection rate is quite insane.
Did you have predictions for Hera if it was a crystal or pendant out of curiosity? Because, you know, I think you got Hera big and the hookshot and Hera small and a lamp. And a sword.
Yeah, I
Really?
just found it. It's like I can full clear this. I'm gonna full clear this. Like there wasn't even a second thought. I didn't care if it's a crystal or a pendant at that point. It's like it's right there. I have to do it. So then being a crystal was just kind of a nice bonus.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to interrupt, but WallKicks did find GT Big Key on the left side wall.
I know. He's moving right past the portal. I have to go to cat. Sorry, we've been hoping to walk it. Yeah, this was kind of like the major difference was, so WallKicks ended up coming over to Dark Shopping Mall very early, pre-club, basically. And so he kind of isolated, in this case, Catfish and GT location. Until we came back with the club, he found GT, got all of his stuff, right? And then just hopped right back into Light World, and I think Catfish is not something on his radar at this point, which is kind of like as you might have found earlier, which where Pod Big Key is.
I didn't remember where it was. I just remember I found it along line of things I was doing, so.
I mean, your routing certainly worked out quite well for you. Just for the, again, it's Crosskeys, but like the sequence in which you found the items and then you went to the locations that the items unlocked for you, was quite efficient.
Just look at his collection rates, like 147 out of 216 in a Crosskeys.
In Crosskeys is
Yeah,
this is like a
insanely low.
It's just mesmerizing.
I'm usually in like the 180s, 190s.
I mean, that's normally what happens when you play Crosskeys. Like, that's just normal. But then you get this is like, man, you did really route this seed perfectly today.
Any particular thoughts, I guess, like going into next week? And you are at one of the coveted 1-0 spots for next week. I know that there are anyone you're looking forward to facing, maybe hoping to get a draw from.
I haven't really looked at the records too much, and I definitely did not expect to be 1-0. So I'll just wait and see who I pull, and we'll just keep playing the game, I guess.
Yeah, just keep getting more 143s. Highly recommended, and probably a good thing. If you want to keep winning.
I will try to do that. That's definitely a good plan. Just got to figure out how to do that every time.
Okay, yeah. So something. Yeah. So it's going to be some homework for you. Until next week. By the way, we just see in this case, I think the Ganon text said that silvers were in GT somewhere, so we're assuming that they're up here. We haven't really seen much other. Like, I think you guys cleared out. Oh, I guess maybe it's in the big chest if it's not up here.
I did say on top of my chest.
Oh, it's specifically on top of GT? Okay.
I think he always says that, though, regardless of where they are.
I never pay attention to this.
Yeah, because I think the only location left is there they are. There they are. I guess we don't have confirmation.
I think it normally says like in my tower or something like that when it's like in the basement or something.
Do you know what's behind GT? Or the Agate drop?
Isn't it that cack well?
Oh, is it the well?
It's the well. It's the well.
It's the
so
well.
I totally get doing the GT climb because there's so many items behind it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Oh man, in map Eastern Palace, that's not what WallKicks wants to see.
I wonder, since WallKicks doesn't have the race time open, I wonder if he feels how he feels at the moment. Like you're just looking for one thing, right? So are you feeling good? Are you feeling bad?
I don't know. I guess in Kaesden, if you were in this position, I guess how do you have thoughts? If you be feeling okay or still maybe a bit more nervous?
I mean, still at sub 2, I'm generally still feeling fine. Hard to say. I haven't seen everything he's done, or if he has any orphans out there, but
Well, he has at least one item that's
It's
sort
at least one, that's true.
yeah, but yeah, that's actually you bring up a good point. It is that you finish blazingly fast, right? And typically like sub 2 is a reasonable benchmark for Crosskeys. As a fast time, and yeah, like if it's sub 2 still, like probably not feeling too great. Although WallKicks has been searching for this pod Vicky for at least 20 minutes, 25. Like, I mean, like, it's just like, yeah, it just can't be a good feeling that you've been searching this entire time for one item again, right?
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is like not knowing that's happening when you're searching for just one item for go mode for that long. Yeah, that definitely start feeling kind of bad. And then when you open the well and you see you got nothing from the climb or the well, that's all sunk time.
Let's see what WallKicks decides to do here.
This might be Smith Chain. This can't be Smith Chain. He's in the Light Worlds.
We finally have Boots in Logic, so yay, Boots in Logic. Oh, he's gonna do Desert.
That's right, he has the big chest in Desert, and he also has Landmo. He did check Ped earlier, and I think we also saw on your credit side, Kaesden, that Ped is just a hard piece. Man, we were so close to Catfish after he got spit out at the pyramid, after Ganon, or sorry, after the Agatu drop, but so close and yet so far.
Yeah, that happens sometimes in this game mode. It's Crosskeys. What can you say about it? Let's go do Pendant Line Molas as well.
Yeah, I did forget actually that Desert Front and Desert Back basically were very close to each other. So
like just Desert in general was like everywhere in Light World except like Mountain. Like everything was down below.
I guess I'm curious, Kaesden, like how long have you been playing Crosskeys?
I started kind of grinding it a little bit before last year's tournament, and then I dropped to join Pilot Spoiler instead because Crosskeys is hard. And that was our team name. And this year I just decided I'm going to join, I'm going to get better at the mode, so for the last couple of months I've been playing like at least 3 or 4 seeds a week. Just grinding it as much as I can, so...
That is a true grind.
Like,
yeah.
Me and Radical Sniper, we generally do one of the asyncs almost every night, like if we're both available, unless there's a ladder or something we'd rather do.
Wow.
Try to do as much as we can without burning out.
Yeah, no, that's quite the dedication. I mean, whatever you have been doing, right? 143 finish at Crosskeys, certainly, looks pretty good in terms of results.
That's the first time I've ever had a sub 2, so I guess for first sub 2 to just go that far down, I'll take it. But I've never been sub 2 before, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess, right.
Whatever, like this is like the best occasion as well. If you go into tournaments with stage number 1, like round 1, you get to play one of the runners that was in the finals of this tournament last year and just get a casual sub 2, like just like nothing. Perfect occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, I guess how long have you been playing, I guess, Rando in general? Because I know that you guys, like you and Jesse and Leoria, right, runners up in Open League Season 4.
Yeah, I started I played casually since like maybe 2018 or so, but I really started playing for real in the 2020 Mentor Tournament and starting to learn the game, and not just taking 3.5 hours on an open seed. And from there, I just been hooked and doing ladder, and just playing all the time.
No,
the game just as frustrating as this game can be, it just doesn't get boring. And I'm always ready to come back to it.
I mean, that's really great to hear. I mean, especially when it sounds like you've also been playing a lot, but also you've been also like playing like smartly, yes, right? Like learning a lot, and then putting up actually a really impressive result here in Crosskeys.
I think we need to watch out for Kaesden in the next few rounds of the Crosskeys tournament if he's going to deliver the fastest time so far in this tournament. So
yeah, aren't you 1-0, Alex?
Yes.
Oh, so we potentially could have Alex Kaesden matchup next week. Gotcha. Although I will say, Kaesden, Alex has a reputation of not finding boots, so it may or may not happen for your next seed.
You had to rub it in one more time.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Yeah, I guess like for Alex's seed, so boots technically were required because Ganon was at Aga 1 drop, and then he didn't find the boots until 227, and that was go mode. He still won, right? But that's a brutal time in order to get boots. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you next week.
I don't know. Sometimes not getting boots is a blessing. I guess, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, we've all been there, I guess, when we don't get boots until forever.
I'm starting to think that WallKicks might be on its way to catfish. I mean, this has to be catfish, right?
Is this the fastest way to get to catfish, out of curiosity?
From where he...
okay, Hobo Shack is certainly faster here.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just wondering, like, like the normal, quote-unquote normal way to get to catfish, or common way is you, was it links, like, bomb shop, hype cave, dark world portal, up to catfish. But it's like, and WallKicks, I guess, like, went through dark world
Okay,
spot 5.
This is 100% guaranteed catfish.
Okay, the fact that he's running up certainly does make a lot of sense.
Like, he can't have many locations left. Like, there's no way he has many locations left. Well, like,
Does he have any locations left at this point?
I mean, he has Janus Tower Big Chest.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But that is like, ugh. Like this is like, I wonder when he picks this one up. If maybe checks race time, just to see how, like, if you feel behind now, or you just ignore it and just go full hard play.
I guess we will see. I mean, that is a big key. There's the only one he's missing.
Well, he mirrors, so he's gonna continue at least. He is in go mode.
Yes. After our minute search for that big key to pod, WallKicks has indeed found it, and now he is able to at least just take out Helmasaur, and then he's got silvers and gold store, so Ganon hopefully shouldn't be too big of an issue.
Also, wild roller coaster for WallKicks to find out. Pod big key. I wonder how it, like, it just hurts it hurts because you could have checked it a long time ago. Like,
yeah,
before he went
yeah.
back, before he went to GT, or like right after GT, I guess.
I mean, I guess like there are a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, and but it's also just kind of like how how kind of like things ended up, right? I mean, if the pod big key like wasn't at Catfish or somewhere else, right? WallKicks would not have gotten punished. But again, right? Like Crosskeys is it doesn't have to always put items in convenient locations for you.
I mean, no matter what, WallKicks will still have a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, finishing.
The fact that he basically full cleared the seed, right? Like, for especially he's gonna finish in, I don't know, like, 210-ish, right? Like, it's actually quite impressive. Because he went he did all of Swamp Palace. He didn't technically pick up the Pendant Desert. Yeah, he did all of GT, right? And I think at this point he did all of Pod as well, basically.
He's probably sitting there. Oh heck, like he normally does when he's doing cross keys. WallKicks grabs its last crystal. We'll only have a date with the pig down at the useless pyramid drop. Well, not the useless fairy, not pyramid drop. I mean, pyramid drops kind of useless, right?
It was. Well, we did get our last minor small key to put the boots of logic.
True. True.
Although I'm trying to think if boots were actually technically required. Like, I don't think there was anything that specifically boots locked.
I
mean, it's a very, minor thing. Again, we don't care about logic here in Crosskeys.
Exactly. Team no logic here.
Exactly.
Fine.
Oh yeah, WallKicks' fourth sword was on floating island in this particular case. Yeah, so I don't think in this case, like at the Kaesden, you had Master Sword and wooden arrows, I think fighting Helma's Sword and pretty much everything else. I assume you were very happy when you found Tempered in Ice Palace?
Yeah, I found Tempered in Ice Palace when I realized I had to do the ZGFE calling out my 6 crystal Ganon strat. I tried it, doesn't work, don't recommend. But I figured, there's several chests that are just along the way, I'll open them, and got lucky and found a sword.
Pretty convenient spot as well before doing cold stare as well.
Yeah, and then you release the spin a little early because of nerves, and yeah.
WallKicks still getting torch glitch, even though, of course, it's not strictly necessary, especially for the equipment that he has.
You get your GGs into the chat because WallKicks has destroyed Ganon. He's just gonna cross this little bridge and then he's done. GGs.
Yeah. Get your GGs on chat for WallKicks finishing up this particular scene. That was a quite the long trek in order to get to his big key to pod for his go mode. So really great in this case that WallKicks did it enough sticking it out and basically at least finding it and finishing up.
See if we can get if WallKicks wants to join us as well.
He has not yet responded in race time. I try to ping him in Discord now.
Yeah, if we can't get WallKicks in here, chat, certainly not going to be too big of a deal. WallKicks certainly, man, that catfish was just not kind to him at all. But in this, yeah, I mean, if you haven't already, of course, you're kind of seeing like WallKicks and Kaesden put on like a really, really excellent show. In this case, Liberal putting in the runner's command. I'm sure in this case, give WallKicks and Kaesden a peek, maybe a little bit more of your time, and give them a follow. Like, and I think as Kaesden mentioned, right? He's doing Crosskeys 3 to 4 seats a week, or at least like basically very very active. WallKicks also I would say like pretty active, and also a fellow admin of this tournament. So certainly really good people to watch and learn from, and also just have a good time.
Exactly, and shout out to our trackers because they made us look smart and honest and stuff. So Bliveral and Sabimas, thank you so much for tracking for us today.
Yeah, Sammy is like one of like the most veteran trackers. So much experience for basically every which way. Liberal, certainly very active. You know, on the ZSR side, she does everything. You know, commentary, tracking, whatever. I mean, we had quite the powerhouse crew today. So thank you so much. So very appreciative. And of course, I want to say also thank you. So we're not gonna necessarily get WallKicks in here. You know, want to say of course thank you so much, Kaesden.
I got the information from... Sorry to interrupt, but WallKicks is not going to join the interview.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I was gonna just say thank you so much, Kaesden, for racing. Again, heck of an impressive time, 1:43. I mean, I know there's still gonna be a couple more matches left for this round one, but the 1:43 is certainly looking to be a pretty strong top X finish for this week, if not gonna be the fastest. So. Best of luck, of course, to you in future rounds. Do you have any other thoughts, maybe? For us.
Just what I was saying before. Thanks for the restream. I always appreciate you guys giving your time to put these on. I know it takes a lot of work. I've done restreaming and comms and tracking and all that, and I know it's a lot of work. So appreciate it every time it happens.
Thank you, Clearmouse, for, of course, doing the comms with me today. So,
oh no, thank you, Alex. This was quite the blast. Always a good time. Looking forward to the next time, of course.
Of course, it's gonna happen. We know it.
Well, yeah, of course.
And thank you, Siberian, and the CSR crew for putting this game on restream. So I'll let Clearmouse end it here, and I'll say good night from my place.
Yeah, no, and thank you so much, Alex. This was again a blast. I mean, Crosskeys commentary. I will say that I think thank you again, Kaesden, and WallKicks for finishing the sea so quickly. Always really great to see something that really like a scene where not only, of course, like the items are, I would say, relatively quickly be able to find it, but also to see both runners take advantage, right, of the item locations, just follow through and making this really nice, fast, and easy, fun plus game. So thank you so much, and looking forward to the next time.
And before we raid over to ZSR4, where we have the Skyward Sword Randomizer Weekly going on right now, a quick preview on what's up next here on ZSR. At 6 PM Eastern, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer NA Weekly. This time it's the first qualifier of the Scrubs tournament of Ocarina of Time. Tomorrow at 6 AM Eastern, we have Majora's Mask Randomizer Standard Tournament qualifier. At 9 AM Eastern, the Ocarina of Time EU Weekly, which also is a qualifier for the Scrubs tournament. And for the rest, please check our schedule. And thank you very much for watching, and see you next time here on ZSR.